Okay, so I want to share something with you about how to stay warm. Now stay tuned and I will give you some very good inside Scandinavian Viking tips on how to stay warm. Right, Isimu? Uh-huh. Stay tuned. Firewood, my favorite thing. It will keep you warm 3 times when you're taking down the trees. When you're not messing around. When you're taking down the trees, you keep warm. When you are splitting it, you keep warm. When you're stacking it, you keep warm. When you're bringing it into the house, you keep warm. And when you burn it in your oven, you keep warm. So firewood, oh my gosh, yes, working will keep you very warm. It's like when you run around, seriously, how can you be cold? So if you're inside and you're cold, go outside and work. Okay, eat hot and drink hot. Like here, I just made a cake. This is just something I took together. But it's basically eat something warm when it's cold outside and drink warm drinks, right? Because that will just be so yummy. I mean, how is this not yummy when it's cold? Oh, husband, do you want some?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I see. And another way to stay warm is... Yes, I'm not going to say that. And then something that's very important is to dress in layers. Wool, first of all. Wool into the body, number 1. And wool on the outside, number 2. And cover the throat and the chest, very important. And your head. All the extremities take a lot of energy. And when you're cold, in the cold, the number 1 way to survive is to not use energy. Yes. So how do you do that? You keep warm. Good shoes. Whoops, very good shoes important. So good shoes are important. Also when you're indoors, it's nice to have something good and woolly. Like you see, you have layers, you know. And so when you go in or you go out, you just take on a layer or off a layer, right? Yes. Okay, so I'm knitting socks with 5 needles. That's the way I was taught to do it in Norway. And my husband, he has generously said that he could actually model for my sock that I made him. This is, I have to attach the string here. But yes, so husband, how do you think about your custom-made sock? Is it keeping you warm?
It's very warm, very cozy.
How was the foot?
Most comfortable sock I've ever put on my foot.
Yes, so wool on your feet, very good. And now for the man section of this video.
Man section. Well, I know one thing about that if you don't let your area get cold, it's easier to maintain a temperature. So if it's going to get cold, then go ahead and start heating earlier. You know, so your stuff doesn't get cold in the inside. So
Yes.
Nutritious food, as being the chef, it's good nutritious food, good cayenne, keep warms the blood. Yes.
Things that will give you energy.
Yeah.
What are good things to keep you warm that will give you energy? Chicken soup.
Chicken soup. Yes, we had chicken soup today.
Yes, we did. Meat stuff?
I don't know about meat. Meat uses a
No,
lot of
I
energy
don't
to
think.
digest.
No, yes, because that will use energy to digest. But like broth.
Yeah, broth.
Broth is good to keep warm. That warms the bones. And like you said, cayenne. That's awesome. And black pepper. My mama, she swears to chewing like how much is this, mama? 7 black whole peppers.
Wow.
When you're cold, or if you're starting to get a cold, it will warm your blood too.
Wow.
And red wine. Some says red wine will heat your blood.
Yeah, red wine heats your blood.
But from a man perspective, you did something very manly here. You were like you impressed me so much. How did you prepare for the cold?
Oh, of the water, and with the would have other places here. It's going to get really cold. It was going to get really cold, so I emptied all the water lines in the places we don't regularly use water, and so that they couldn't freeze even if they wanted to, because there's no water in the line. So, and then where we are staying, it's the only place there's water now, and we leave it dripping at night, and so we're okay.
Yes, we're very okay. Thank you, husband. And then you have a very good tip staying warm. Minimize the space you're using. Instead of heating all the rooms or the living room and whatever, you just heat one room. Like here in our place, I just took a shower curtain rod because I had one extra, and I hung up this beautiful thing that I got in Mexico. Yes, thank you, Rosilda. And this one actually goes all the way to the floor. Oh, you see our terrarium over there? Yes, anyway, so this one goes all the way to the floor. So this keeps our whole living room warm. And in Israel, I learned that, like most people there, they go to their bedroom and they have their bedroom like mini living rooms, like because it's very cold in like concrete houses. And there's a lot of concrete there. That's the way they did it. Just heat one room, worst case scenario. And don't get too warm, don't sweat. Because if you sweat and you go outside, the sweat gets cold and you get cold. Wool has the function that you don't get like that cold. And talking about sweat, they said that if you wash your face just before going outside, you take away a layer that is natural for the body. So if you're out and you cannot make sure when you're going to get warm, do not take a bath, do not take a shower and then go outside, especially not with wet hair. So a good way is to stay warm with layers, keep your head and feet warm. Yes, you guessed it. Head coverings. You can have so much fun with head covering, girls. Especially in the winter, is super cool, yeah? And you can do layers and layers and layers. That's an awesome way. I love winter. Oh, by the way, in Eastern Europe and other places where it gets super cold in the winter, the older generation that don't have heat, like the widows, they keep warm by having layers like this, but they also have like a warm blanket. That's like their investment. And if it's really, really, really cold, you can also just stay in bed with a super warm blanket and something on your head, like a head covering or a hat, wool hat, wool head covering. So many options. Oh my gosh, this is a good one. You won't believe this. Oh, Daniel hated this in the beginning when I did it, but when he realized that it actually is good to keep warm, he started doing it too. And look, this is like so not logical. I am opening the door. Oh my goodness, she opened the door. Oh, it's so cold. How can you open the door? Danielle, husband, why do we open the door?
The new oxygen will actually be able to let it get warmer in here.
Yes, so the new oxygen will make it warmer in here because stale air does not have the same ability to heat the room. So if you open up and air out in the morning, not only is it very good to air out, but like it changes out the oxygen, and the new oxygen, the fresh oxygen will make it hotter, better, faster. So the question is, firewood sustainable energy? Yes, it is. Is it environmentally friendly? Well, yes, it is. It depends because it's better than firing with coal and nuclear power and all that stuff. But it's like if you have a lot of woods, it is a very good renewable source. Come on, Daisy. Come on. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Good girl, Daisy Moo. She's a good girl. She's my happy barrel racing cow. Come on, Daisy Moo. Come on. Come on. Yay! She can do it. She can do it. Yay! Because the cold can sneak up on you when you don't expect it, or even if you do expect it, like what just happened yesterday. in Alabama and Georgia, there was like a million power outages. Can you imagine? So there was no electricity.